Well, we're live with Al McManus. We're gonna have a little play a little music here, open it up, allow people time to come in. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the Vibrational Empowerment Network, Soulology Network collaboration. We call it Soul Convergence, live from Sedona. Let me just share this to. I think we're back on now. All right. Sorry about the tech difficulty. Looks like we're good. There's a lag. Did you wait a second ago?
And I did again.
I'm just trying to. Okay, we're good. Looks like it.
Yeah, there's always gonna be a little bit of a lag.
I know. All right. So yeah, welcome everybody. Sorry about the delayed reaction, but we are in the vortex called Sedona, where nothing is as it seems. We have a little gift this morning. I sat down to do the show, and there was a new post brought to my attention by our dear sister, beloved sister, Melissa Dehan, who runs Own Your Shift Facebook page and website, ownyourshift.ie. She just put this up September 20th, 2020. It's called Drama Queen. And it goes like this. Unbalanced in your world, don't come and shake up mine. Confused, conflicted, in turmoil, your world is yours and my world is mine. I will open my mouth, I will speak my truth. I get to feel how I feel. I get to choose what I choose. You don't see through my eyes or feel through my heart. Don't dare tell me how I feel, doesn't matter. Then disregard your own part. I'm not an emotional punch bag, willing to take low blow verbal shots. I won't be sacrificing myself anymore playing small. In order for you to feel enough, I won't be allowing your projections, your unhealed story to penetrate my heart as you continue to bleed all over me, over things I didn't start. Stop mistaking my kindness as weakness. I understand fully my worth. Remember your judgments of me are cloaked ones, concealing all that's dormant within you, the unacknowledged, the forgotten about. Don't tell me I'm the problem because I speak my truth. You see me as the enemy as I hold a mirror up to you. Don't tell me I'm projecting as you refuse point blank to see that I am you and you are me, that together we are we. Don't tell me I'm overreacting when my body signals residual pain. Communicating that my needs aren't met, my weary body trying to point me in the right way. You ask me what's my issue as you disregard my heart, saying things that cut right through me, not giving your harsh words as much as a second thought. Take responsibility for your words and actions and leave me to address mine. Take accountability and ownership for the times when you are out of line. Yes, it's easier to brand me the emotional, overdramatic drama queen. But maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't in fact me. For too long, we have kept our silence over things we didn't say. Instead, harbored resentment and bitterness over the past, over yesterday. The time is now to speak your truth, to use your voice and say, I'm sorry, but this ends now. I choose me, this inner power that's here to stay. Thank you, Melissa Dehan from ownyourshift.ie. Melissa is a very powerful lady. You can also find Own Your Shift on Facebook, and that's her energy, her organization. Welcome, everybody. We've got 16 people in the house on the Soulology One Studios page. We've got a couple people here in the studio. We got Jade.
I feel like we're also just working through some very deeply repressed emotions, and they're just coming out however they're going to come out. And I feel like the more that we can allow ourselves to have that expression, however it comes out, and then give ourselves that breathing time afterwards to really just, feel it all through, feel the energy flowing again, feeling our groove coming back. And then, if there's someone caught in the crossfire, then, that opens up for more like reconciliation. So it's like, yeah, I was kind of being an asshole here. I've worked through it and I feel a lot better. And, just working to like let those parts of ourselves express and also keep it in balance with, the fact that, we are all just doing our very best to rediscover love and come back into that love in any situation as it comes up. For now, though, it's kind of like, touch and go with so much else as the rest of this illusionary world that we've been working to restore to love kind of just falls away, collapses, and becomes repatterned into something much more overtly loving and much more connected within our soul tribes, our soul families, and all the communities that we have built as a soul, and bring it into the human experience here on Earth.
Very good.
Yeah.
You were ready.
Always. I mean, geez, it's like this energy here, it's like it just comes right on through. It's clear as a bell. Like, there's no distortion.
So this is what it looks like, people, to be in post-equinox in Sedona, Arizona, with a bunch of souls converging. Neil, I was looking at you going... And I've been asking since I got here, where's Neil? That's right. It's good to see you.
And here he is.
It's good to see you. So that was a powerful thing, man, what you're saying. And so, like, I mean, that was so powerful. Usually this is what I do, right? So people will say something, I'll say, okay, so you're saying this, and this, right? But there was so much in there. That was just like a multi-dimensional, multi-frequency, holy, whole, vibrational channel. I don't know what else to say about that.
This is the quantum human coming back into being at the physical level.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're saying, too, is that, I always say, go easy on yourself and go easy on each other, because we're all going through the same damn thing.
Yes.
But I think what you're saying is this is what it looks like.
Yeah,
This is what it looks like.
Sometimes it's not going to be sugar-coated. Like, I don't do sugar-coating. I am not Willy Wonka. At the same time, though, it's like it does come in layers, too. So it's like, you get that initial brunt of it, and then you kind of got to give yourself a second to deal with the recoil, and then, like, the part afterwards where it's like the love and the harmony really just kind of kick in because it's flowing again. So this is like, think of like using a battering ram to open a door. Some of these doors have been closed and are like rusted shut. Then there's goop on top of that rust, and then so on and so forth like that. So it does take a large punch to get through it. But once that love is flowing, then it's just like, oh yeah, I can breathe again. And okay, so that just happened, and I love you. And my intent is always to come back to that love, even if, like, as Morgan so colorfully coined it, the inner asshole comes out to shine for a little bit, because once that inner asshole gets his breath back and starts to breathe again, then the inner asshole just becomes that sovereign, loving, takes no shit yet is always kind being that we actually all are in our hearts.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that. If there was a microphone in my hand, I would just drop it on the floor. Yes. Okay. So there's so much what you said. Be direct. Okay. We have to be direct. And because we're not all walking on water and our ankles aren't getting wet when we do, we're actually building a new template, many templates, but we're building a new template, the new blueprint, which involves adding our experience in these incarnations to the Akashic we brought into this game with us, right? So what you're saying is sometimes you're going to squeeze the bar of soap too hard, because we're not going to lose the bar of soap by holding it too loose anymore because we've done that. We've swept stuff under the rug. We repress things. So we're going to speak out. Sometimes it's going to look like we're an asshole. Sometimes we're going to be an asshole. Sometimes we're going to be it and not even know we were, okay? Because we also have blind spots we're dealing with. Now, the flip side of it to me is, which I'm speaking from my experience in my own life, not regarding others, which is patterns that continue to show up in my experience where I thought they were not my creation, that I was, and I guess maybe there's a victim consciousness aspect to it, and that's what we're walking away from. But I guess what I'm saying is, for me, as these patterns continue to show up in with a different face or a different person or a different set of circumstances, which actually energetically was the same thing, I finally snapped and go, oh, wait a minute. I can change this loop. I like this part of the loop, but I don't like this part of it. I'm choosing me, and I'm going to, let's say, for instance, be direct, not repress, or whatever the things are, and then modify my own frequency so the next time this thing comes around, it's a better match.
We can make different choices too.
Well, it's what it's all about, right?
And that's really, you just pinged me on what this is truly all about. We're breaking down those patterns. We're retiring, dissolving all of these old templates of
the heart itself to be the voice, or run it through the heart, or however you want to put it, as opposed to the loops of the mind and the dialogues of the mind.
This is where we're just getting a taste of it, so it's like we remember how it is that we all flow and interact with one another. And you get some fiery person like me who's becoming unrepressed, and then it's like that fire just really comes out, and then that's where the temperance comes in. Is it's like, okay, so my fire was like on like a setting of 10 when the situation may only call for like a setting of like 3 or 4 to effectively communicate whatever it is, or effectively be the frequency of what this fire is representing. And it's like bringing in that temperance. So it's like things, as we become more and more used to these repressed parts acting as they're divinely designed and intended to function, coming out of the repression and just flowing the way that it's naturally and organically going to flow. So everything is actually as harmonious as we feel it to be in our hearts and in our mental space.
Right on. We've got a Sagittarius. It pauses, but they pull it back up. Let me see. Let me just reboot.
There's something going on with this connection
Yeah.
right now. I don't know what it is.
We can try a little bit longer. Okay, we're back. And then, of course, we have okay. So, yeah, where were we?
I was talking about sandpaper.
I think you were mainstreaming from infinite intelligence.
Aren't we both?
Yeah. But yeah, so the human's front and center. I mean, this is it. We're going from a human to a divine human. We talked about it yesterday. So what is a divine human? Well, I don't think there's ever been one.
Human actually look like? What do they behave like? What do they feel like? What do they smell like? What do they taste like? And so on and so forth in that way. What was God thinking, feeling in his doings and beings when he and she were designing the human initially? What does that look like? How was that embodied now that we're in the aftermath of all of this spiritual warfare? How do we re-embody that pristine human at the same time acknowledging the journey, embodying the journey that we've gone through to get to this point?
How do we do that?
What does that look like? What does that feel like?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what we're finding out.
And this is like very much so like a rhetorical question, philosophical type of question. Yeah, it's just like, to me, with that, in my experience with that coming through, this line of questioning coming through, it's like I feel like so many of us are very much so on the verge of rekindling the pristine sacred human codes. and embodying that in every which way possible.
Yeah. I just got a big ping on that.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm serious. It's going off in my ear. I'm trying to figure out what they're.
Oh, literally a ping.
Yeah, what I'm getting. Yeah, I'm like, am I being told this is true speak, which I know it is, or am I being told something as a result of that? I'm trying to tune into it and do the tech stuff at the same time. Yeah, and so what does it feel like? Like we don't know all-encompassing template of what is the divine human, right? Mm-hmm. The new human, or whatever you want to call it. I think we have a huge advantage. Like our greatest strengths has been our greatest weakness. Mm-hmm. So we have, and none of us know for sure, okay? But it certainly seems like, since we're conscious in this present moment, 99.99% of the time, we're conscious in this earth realm, and which has felt very human. But my point is, I think there's enough information and intel out there to know that we are seeded in a huge way by literally all aspects of the universe. Mm-hmm. I remember getting a download 5 or 6 years ago that when we got through with this journey, we will all be universal soldiers, be able to go into any quadrant of the multiverse because of our virtually infinitely seated soul on this earth through these earth incarnations. We carry in all this code and be able to be like healers, like to go into an environment because we carry the code that hasn't been accessed or available in these places we might go visit. Now back to what I was going to say. So this is our greatest strength because we're made up of all the aspects of dark and light in a very polarized realm, bringing everything to a 0 point. Now, it's also been our greatest weakness because of the huge diversity we've had, creates all these different differentiations, So you have, like here on the earth, we have white, black, red, yellow, brown. Yeah. So right there you have 5 degrees of separation you've got to bring to 1. We're talking about, let's say the 12 primary galactic star families that seeded us in our DNA, mm-hmm. the 12 strands of DNA. Or we might even say all of the multiverses or whatever. So every time we look at what we've been seeded with, you have a wider and wider range of diversity and differences, at least from a human level, that we've had to bring to the 0 point. But I think I like what you said, that now that we're in post-war,
yeah,
post-spiritual war, if you want to use that term, post-galactic war, post-whatever. We're now in the age of awareness. We don't need to talk about waking up anymore. We don't need to talk about what's going on anymore, who we are, what we're part of. It's time to go, okay, what are we going to do with this? We came all this way for what? To look at our trophies on the wall? No, I think we came here to, to have a little fun, expand, and raise the bar.
And reconnect with our loved ones.
Yeah. There you go. You're up.
Asia.
Asia.
Europe, Asia.
There you go. Europe is texting for your turn to talk. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, we're still on. We're good. Okay.
I got to sit with what you just said there.
Go ahead. It's a discussion.
Yeah.
It's a conversation.
Well, ben da shin na ma yin na ma na shin na mo a yin na ma na na o shin na ma yin na mo na na o ma na shin na mo ma o na na o ma yin ma na na o. Oh, do you want to join in? Start howling, Red.
Oh. Oh.
Here, you want? Oh, sorry.
Oh.
There she goes.
What the hell was that? Sounded like a coyote yip. Yip, yip. So, yeah, that was powerful. Do you know what was coming through, or was it
encoding what you were just talking about? I can't consciously access what you were saying, but it was encoding that.
Mm-hmm.
Red.
Oh, how's that coming in? Is that you? Well, I don't have the sound on. How's that coming on? Where's that coming from? was that? Is that you? Sounded like a coyote. It's. You hear it? So, yeah, that was powerful. Do you know what was coming through? Or was it
Okay, so
Hang
that
on.
was okay.
Hang on.
Consciously
access what you were.
Okay, there you go. You stopped it. Okay, go ahead.
So the light language was opening those floodgates for everything you were just talking about. Whatever that was, it's like it's engaging the frequency. So opening up the frequencies that we have each been collectively working on to just finalize the finalize the war and begin the post-war cleanup. And
I think part of it too is part of it is because we're aware of who we or what we are,
mm-hmm.
and because we've all connected enough through ourselves and through each other both, we have this information. We know we're not what we thought we were.
Mm-hmm.
We've moved past the programming and the subtleties and all that stuff. So it's like time to walk the talk, and so I had this great example because I did a show, I think about a week and a half ago, with this beautiful man who'd been on the path a long time, who was very lit. He was mainstreaming, he had some pretty high level healing and skills and abilities and such, but he started telling the story about how he was sexually abused
Mm-hmm.
by his father.
Mm-hmm.
And that he grew apart from his father, and then right after his father transitioned, years later, his father came to see him. Now, I'm telling this story because it's a metaphor and an analogy on a individual's journey, reflecting on a parallel the collective's journey. So what happened was the father came to him and said, "Listen, forgive me." And do you forgive me? And he said, "Yes." He said, "Well, when you forgive me, as you've forgiven me, you've now forgiven yourself." And so he said, "Okay, I'm cool. I got that." And then he said, let me tell you that way back then, before we came into this incarnation, you came to me as a soul, and you came to me and said, will you play this role for me so that I can have the opportunity to expand these aspects of my soul by being a victim, and so on. And so it was from that understanding, which is like a higher level of intelligence, no different than a download we get or a channeling or whatever, that he then embodied and applied to bring peace into his life. And we might call it healing, And I think that's what I'm trying to say at a collective level. I keep waiting. I hear people, and I know people don't think I like Q or Trump and all that, and I don't care about any of it. I'm anti-savior-based programming. I'm anti-bullshit. And so what I'm trying to say is I'm waiting for somebody out there to stop, let's stop kind of, banging the drum and flaming the fire of all these supposed saviors and savior programs. And because I'm looking for somebody or some bodies or some group that's going to get up there and say, hey, we are eternal beings. We're valiant souls. We're supernatural. Mm-hmm. We have telekinesis. We can bilocate. We can crash through all these energetic barriers if we just get out of the muddy water that we're swimming in, which is what we've been doing, and start giving us credit for what we are. I don't see anybody doing this, and it frustrates me to see us throwing all of our power away. It's just a different face on it. Now,
you brought up Trump and Q, and I feel like that this is always and always has been an inside job. We were always supposed to be doing this from the inside and working the way out. It's just that what is it going to look like when that inner work begins to manifest outwardly? And I feel like that Trump is the tool that is the outward manifestation of that inner work that we've done. Q is the information that goes along with that, so that people who are already just like more apt to question the lies of known liars, to, oh my gosh, okay, so this is how deep that rabbit hole actually goes. So giving a broader sense of information and a rallying point for more people to come together to begin to shift the outward shit show.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
I feel like that we're definitely reaching a point where, you know, someone like Trump could say like all the actual hardcore truths about our actual divine nature, and it's just like the masses have not been ready for that.
Where I'm at with it is, I like what you said, because it's a vehicle that's providing a catalytic frequency for people to increase their level of curiosity, and of course not only about what goes on externally, because that leads to what goes on internally.
Yep.
Because as you start to discover that truth is stranger than fiction, then you start to say, well, if all that stuff's going on, who the hell am I? You know?
Yeah.
And then the process starts. But my big thing is, I'm still, I guess, you know, I think I see what I see happening. We were talking about this last night, a group of us. So all this stuff is crumbling, right?
Yep.
We can look at it and go, the educational system's crumbling, the financial system's crumbling, the governmental systems, legal systems, all crumbling.
Yep.
At the same time, and then our friend said, and that was Michael, all these things were originated
And quantumly